Hello and welcome back. Thanks for subscribing. I assume that's how you got here. If you got here through the algorithm, please don't leave. I love you. This is Maybe I Do. I guess that means maybe I do love you, but maybe I don't. That's always that's the thing about maybes. Maybe I like this film, maybe I didn't. You're just gonna have to find out. It's on Hulu, and it does not have audio description. Um, I should say that I also watched this with my mom, so it was pretty much the whole reason for watching this film is I was like, oh, there's a new film. Oh, it's got Diane Keaton, Richard Gere, Susan Sarandon, and William H. Macy. Okay, then. Feels like this is something that she'll enjoy. Mm-hmm. Uh, so at first, yes. So basically, she asked me what it was about, and I just told her what the cast was, and she's like, "Oh, okay." I didn't even know. She had no idea what the film was about. I didn't even tell her the plot. Um, and I just kind of trusted this film would be serviceable enough. It's it's not, and it makes me sad. It's a very, you know what, this director is Michael Jacobs, and if you don't know who that is, if that name doesn't ring a bell for you, then you must be young, because Michael Jacobs produced like half of the TV shows in the late 80s and into the 90s. He's probably most well known for Boy Meets World. He's also, oddly enough, an Oscar nominated producer because the one time he decided to jump into film, he produced Quiz Show. So, which got a Best Picture nomination. So, he is actually an Oscar nominee for producing, but still, he's an Oscar nominee. And, yeah, so this is the guy that produced Boy Meets World. And it's actually his directorial debut, it's a feature directorial debut. He is credited for having directed, I guess, an episode of My Two Dads back in the late 80s. That's how long this guy's been around. So he waited this whole time to make a feature film debut. The last thing he did, the most recent thing, was Girl Meets World, so he hasn't been in the industry for years. And then all of a sudden, there's Maybe I Do, and it's not good. And I'm so confused. I'm so confused by somebody, I guess it's a bucket list film for him. He just wanted to do a feature before he checks out, I'm assuming. But that's really morbid to think, but it's a very simplistic plot, and that was what got me into the film. Is it's about a young couple, Emma Roberts and Jake Lacy, who are looking at getting married, and she wants to, he doesn't, and they're debating about whether or not to. And well, she doesn't want to be with somebody who doesn't want to get married and it just wants to hang out for the rest of their life. And he doesn't want to change the status of the relationship because he's worried that it's going to change things. And when you say sort of like what their parents are like, you kind of understand a little bit more. However, the twist in this film, the improbable twist, and one of the reasons why I will use this term, I realize there's a lot of weight behind this term. I think Woody Allen should have directed this film. Hear me out. It's about when they invite the parents, they already know each other because they're kind of messing around with each other, in a way that they don't even know that they're messing around. So Jake Lacy's parents are William H. Macy and Steven Seagal. Susan Sarandon. I'm keeping that. I'm not redoing this video. That was hilarious. I wish it was Steven Seagal now. Susan Sarandon and Emma Roberts' parents are Richard Gere and Diane Keaton. And now I really want Steven Seagal to be in this movie. So, in a weird way, Richard Gere and Susan Sarandon have been having an affair, and then for Diane Keaton and William H. Macy had this weird chance meeting where they had this emotional affair where they kind of sat up all night and just talked. Like, they didn't end up doing anything, but they just talked. And, of course, William H. Macy, who's in this really broken relationship, just immediately fell in love with Diane Keaton. And, you know, even though they didn't do anything, just because he's been so lonely that he just enjoyed talking. And the catalyst is when they invite them all together, everybody's like, oh my God. They realize what the situation is. And for about 10 minutes, the film is funny. For that initial meeting, when people start walking in the house, the film is decent. The rest of it is monotonous. It is cinematic ambient in parts. It feels like every actor shot the film by themselves, and we're all, you know, the VFX team came in and superimposed everybody into the same film. It's everybody reads their dialogue really weird. These are all great actors, but none of them are acting. They're all just kind of like, either they just got the script the day before. I don't think anybody actually tried. William H. Macy is arguably doing the best job here. It's funny because Diane Keaton doesn't even feel like Diane Keaton in here. A lot of people always make fun of her because she has like a thing that she does. She doesn't feel like she has enough energy to do that. She just is. She's not even involved in the movie enough to do her typical Diane Keaton. It kind of just feels like well, somebody pay. I'm here for doing a favor for my agent. You know. Everybody's kind of sleepwalking through the film. Even Emma Roberts and Jake Lacy, like, nobody really seems to want to be here. And unfortunately, Michael Jacobs doesn't really know what to do with the film. His direction is kind of dull and boring and lifeless. There's no energy in any of the scenes. He doesn't get any punchlines or land them. Everything just kind of sits. The dialogue doesn't move quickly. There's stuff that Woody Allen brings to a film like this that would have made it funny. It's also made obviously really cheaply because they don't really want to do anything except interiors. So it's just moving from like a kitchen to kitchen, bedroom. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just all very cheaply made. The whole film was just kind of disappointing. Plus, big indicator this film's gonna suck is they make you sit through basically credits before watching the film. Like, the length of a pop song with credits to a black screen. I know the only reason I know that is because I, again, watched it with a sighted person. So I know it didn't play over anything. There wasn't like any cutesy like title stuff before it. It's just credits and there's just music playing. And then eventually the film starts. So you sit there for a while listening to this song and you're wondering, as a blind person, what the fuck is going on? And then finally, like, okay, obviously we're in a movie now. And I found out it was just like text over black. It was whatever. I'm tired of these actors being in shitty movies. I'm tired. Diane Keaton is so good, and she has had such a bad luck with movies. I mean, Mac and Rita. The fact that she needed to make a book club sequel. With all the streaming services out there, I don't know how she hasn't gotten herself a Grace and Frankie. You know, like, what is going on? She is a legend. And she continues to do some of the worst films. She will not be remembered for being a great actress at this rate, because people will only remember, like, the last, like, chunk of her career as being this atrocious. It's like if you just grew up and all you saw were, like, the last couple films Audrey Hepburn made. She made some terrible films at the end of her career that were completely beneath her for no reason whatsoever, other than, I guess, money, or she didn't want to stop working and couldn't say no. I have no idea. But we have to get these people into better movies. The talent in this film is wasted. And it breaks my heart. I am a huge Boy Meets World fan. I'm literally rewatching. I'm about to turn 40. I am rewatching Boy Meets World right now because it's the show that makes me happy. It's my happy place. Michael Jacobs created my happy place. And in his feature film debut, I don't think this is a good film. I wanted to like it. I wanted to like this cast. I did see the IMDb score going into it, but I was like, no. I don't care. I'm gonna watch this film anyway. It is actually, that is a very valid IMDb score. That is a very valid Metacritic score. It really isn't any good. All of these people have been better in 20 different films. So this is very much on the low end. I will say, though, that unlike Mac and Rita, where I was always waiting for it to take off and own its concept, the moment that this actually does kind of hit the concept of crossing the families, there was about 10 minutes there where it got a couple laughs out of me. I'm like 3 or 4, and then it wanders back into boring again after that. It's like, well, we met. We had that awkward interaction, and now we're gonna zombie walk through the rest of the film until we're done. It's so disappointing. It doesn't have audio description either, so I'm down to the point where I would normally talk about the audio description. You know what? To my blind community, this film is mostly dialogue, and it doesn't really change locations. So if you really wanted to know what the interiors of these people's homes looked like, I guess we're missing that. We're missing what they look like as people. There's really only 6 people in this film. And they're all known. Yes, there are like briefly like some, like a waiter that walks by and has a line at one point, but for the most part there really are only 6 people in this film. And you can easily remember their voices. I could track them. Of course, I know all these actors, and it was easy for me to follow their voices. So I'm not going to give this an unwatchable grade. As much as I believe that everything should have audio description, I would just be lying if I said that this film is unwatchable. I was able to understand it conceptually, every scene. I got what they were trying to do here. It doesn't work. So I'm gonna give, maybe I do a D+. It breaks my heart, considering the talent involved, including the director, who's a fantastic producer and TV show creator. And I would have loved to be able to come on here and defend the film, but I can't. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I hope you like this review. Please, I'll review more films for you, and I have a website, MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MacTheMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org, where you can find a movie that does have audio description and see where you can watch it. And you can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's describing your favorite films and television series. So, that's it. I will see you guys on the other side.